Humble pie. SpaceX was going to launch today and didn't succeed with the weather causing problems. I'm reading a book on psycholinguistics I started a while back when I was homeless. And normally would talk about metaphor and failing and succeeding. But seeing all the ties and the engineering and the extravagance with the film coverage, I slowly started to adapt to a world and a planet and an earth and a now focused on an animal speed. A powerful and strong mind with people supporting the velocity. With the brain secondary for control, restriction, limiting behavior and voice. To get to Mars, to go into outer space, where all mankind can increase their reach and their brilliance. And then on the same news page, over 10,000 people have signed up to be socialists, and Venezuelan asylum seekers have warned the political movement causes a lot of harm. With the risks of all the quarantine now and the lack of freedom available for people to go and protect themselves with face coverings and common sense. Everywhere a person goes now gets tracked and traced in case of someone getting sick from someone who doesn't know they've got coronavirus. The restaurant keeps the names optionally during a phase not even available yet now, and possibly won't be for a year now. Further along in the news, they said now the millennials, I'm 36, considered the same age group, are the least fortunate so far. Now with 2 recessions, September 11th, war, and a pandemic, coronavirus outbreak now. Here in Capitol Hill, Seattle, Washington, I hear the words revolution once in a while. I see stickers with the words resist. And not even a small flash of hope. Not even a tiny, tiny piece. Nobody talks about slowly dying. Not an ego death, a physical destruction. Voices repeating, sounds being made again, again, and again. Farther down in the news, they talked about discrimination with African American and Black communities and Hispanic Mexican communities. And another story about a man being killed in Minneapolis with Ice Cube in the news saying, "Fight tomorrow. Inevitable. Need to. Resist." In the similar kind of reasoning as the cheering and yelling person who wants to take over the government and replace the problem with a better choice, a more up-to-date option now. I was looking at information about technology and engineering and came across all of these folks humans with similar faces as the voices I hear outside now in Seattle, Washington. Recognizable, noticeable, and always similar. The woman with her highness, the man with such power and strength and brutality and restraint, keeping the girls and the ladies fancy, prepared, etc. I made this video to not be considered a threat. There's nowhere to go, there's no one to beg and plead to anymore to be a doctor, nowhere to volunteer to help people. And more risk involved going out the front door to the park than anyone wants to admit right now. In a place like Seattle, Washington, in Seattle, Washington. The more people get hungry, the more people get confused, the easier violence gets for the drug dealer, gangster, thug, people. And the more empty the streets get with police. The end.